Hello, my name is Mark Boyer, and this is a report on where my activities are right now. Last Monday, I appeared to court as to what I received in a letter, and I was thrown immediately into jail, okay, for a breach of failing to go to a confirmation hearing on a breach. Now, there's no such thing. They invented the dates, they dragged me out, but what they did is they put me in jail for 5 days, okay? And as it was explained to me, on a breach, the most they could ever do is time served on the breach that I did, okay? I filed papers with my Attorney General the last day of an undertaking because of a bail undertaking that I couldn't file papers with the Attorney General, and I did it out of protest. They accepted that this was an act of civil disobedience, which is defined in law as an act of almost violence to draw attention to a bad set of laws. And it's actually sanctioned in law for me to use this peaceful civil disobedience as a tool to bring forward to the courts, which is what I was doing. Now, by being denied a trial that date, which is what they did, I ended up not having this great defense of why is the Crown hiring a special prosecutor in order to prosecute a breach. It's unheard of. Okay, special prosecutors are supposed to be used when a government official has broken the law, and that is the case. And actually, the special prosecutor reflects that status. Right now, I have bail undertakings, okay, that state that I cannot have any contact with the Attorney General or his deputy or any of his employees, or be in any building where any Attorney General employee might be. In other words, and I'm barred from 222 Main Street specifically, and the Attorney General's offices and the City Attorney General's offices on Howe Street. So basically what they've done is, as I've said in court, you cannot place all these restrictions on me when my complaint is that I have a rigged trial. Okay, 4 years ago, I was given, or 3 years ago, I was given these papers by the courts saying that I was found guilty 3 weeks before a trial at the appellate level. Okay, my original Compassion Club bust, at the appellate level, I got a reasons for judgment, and it clearly says that I was found guilty 3 weeks before I go to court. Now, technically, that's an Attorney General, the same Attorney General who doesn't want me to see him, doesn't want to see me, because if he does actually accept a piece of paper or see me, or is forced to see this piece of paper because I insist on it, that means he would have to give me a new trial. Okay? Section 11D of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms says, as a bare minimum, everyone is guaranteed that he will not be found guilty until all the evidence is entered in a fair and impartial trial. I was denied that. In black and white, I got a document that says that the majority in power decided to find me guilty. That's what it says in the document. 3 weeks before I went to trial. Now, by law, I'm entitled to a fair trial. And since that document was given to me at the highest court of the appellate courts, that means I get a Supreme Court of Canada courtroom. Now, what is that relevant to what I'm doing now? I have this curfew that says I can't see the Attorney General. Now, the reality is it's so unconstitutional for the restrictions that they've placed upon me that I can say that and I have made it in court, the accusation that the entire system is there protecting that the Attorney General of BC is above the law. And no one is above the law, okay? Absolutely everyone is there protecting an Attorney General from the crime of rigging a trial. And the reality is that's treason, because they rigged the trial of the loyal opposition of a federal political party. Okay? That constitutes treason because it's subverting democracy itself. You know, I have the best argument in the world that the marijuana party has a right to buy, sell, and possess marijuana for its members. And I'm the first to admit that under a political party, that's the way it is. And everybody says the only solution is a political solution. Well, my prescribed by law under a free and democratic society, Section 1, is so ironclad that the only way a judge can find you not guilty is by breaking his oath. It's that ironclad case. Now the reality is for the last 3 years, they've been subverting the fact that I've legalized the sale of pot in Canada. Okay, that's it. Okay, the reality is I must be given a court date in the Supreme Court of Canada, and that's all there is to it. That's the law. As I said to the probation people yesterday, who are stonewalling me, that's a whole other issue. I've been 3 days of being stonewalled by the probation services because I know the law. And as I said to them, I says, the statute of limitations on their crime is 18 years. That means I've got 14 more years of being able to just drive them into the wall until they actually succumb to doing what's right, okay? Now I'm saying that this guy, all he has to do is plead legal insanity. 1 count of legal insanity, okay? Technically, he's retired. Who cares what? That's what Wally Opal has to do, okay? All of this was done through Wally Opal, okay? And give me a new trial. The law says as a minimum I need a new trial. That would happen at the SCC, and pot would be legalized. And you know what? It's only a matter of a few years anyways. It can't continue. So what's the big deal, okay? Someone has to be first, and that's the next guy who goes to the SCC. And I can demand it. Now the reality is right now, if the courts, I'm going there this afternoon and getting a yes or no on, am I going back to court to revive these conditions so I can file properly, or do I just file a mandamus in the Supreme Court of Canada? And that's a brand new, I've filed mandamuses in the provinces and they fall all over their feet. In Alberta and in BC. And they just don't know how to handle them, okay? Now, the reality is a mandamus is a demand that they must look at the fact that the province of BC is in what's called in law a failure of an entity to comply. Section 19 of the Police Act, to my understanding. And that means where everybody's in collusion to break the law. And the reality is the way my bail undertaking reads, it reads like everyone's in collusion to protect the Attorney General from a charge of rigging a trial. Now it's to everybody's interest that this practice be stopped. Really. I mean, it's at nobody's interest to continue the practice of allowing an Attorney General to commit the crime of rigging trials. And what else can you say? Societies, entire civilizations have gone down for less. Okay? And what can I say? It all boils down to, as I say to them, if they can't grant me a new trial, then I can't divide the house that Albert Pike built. Okay? You cannot break this evil empire without first dividing it somewhere. And there's this greater message that the case that has to be brought before the Supreme Court of Canada fulfills Isaiah 40. And we enter paradise on earth. That's the reality. They're afraid to enter a court case that might trigger paradise on earth. And the reality is all they really have to do is follow the law and give me a fair trial at the Supreme Court of Canada with my ironclad defense, which means pot is legal in Canada. That's all. And it's not crack, it's not heroin, it's not anything but pot. If people want to push the envelope on other things, that's their prerogative. But at least, the marijuana party will have succeeded in its mandate and will gladly just fold up as a party and cease to exist because we've done our function. And in the next week, I either have to get a court date from my bail supervisors, or, which I find out later today, and or file a mandamus, which I'm doing Monday at the latest. And on that, may the feet of the angels that trample you be beautiful. It's a statement that we really are close to our end, to our last days, as far as I see it. Okay, the test is being done in a beautiful place called British Columbia, and the world is awaiting for the message that delivers us, and that's what I'm doing. And it has to start somewhere, and it starts with an SCC visit where publication bans will be released. And the good news will do what it does. It's called good first fruit. It's an essential element in going to paradise on earth peacefully, in grace, where absolutely everyone is saved. And that's a Romans 10 thing, where God will have mercy on us all, and everyone is saved because we are all sinners. And that happens when these Nimrods repent. And it has to start somewhere. And why not on the rigged trial, on my rigged trial? Because I really am delivering the new covenant. And if they've ever asked to Ecclesiastes, a wise heart will know when to act. And this is that time. And may you live in interesting times. Thank you very much.